Ridge Racer, an absolute classic in the arcade racing game genre, and one that I played a hell of a lot back in the day, alongside the original Need for Speed games of course. But now the original arcade release of the game has got its own arcade archives treatment, with a port of the game making its way to the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. So in this video I decided to give it a whirl, and it's been quite a long time since I last played a Ridge Racer game, way back on the PSP in fact, so you'll have to excuse my shoddy driving here, though admittedly I am pretty terrible at any driving game, except maybe Mario Kart I suppose. Anyway, getting back into the game, we have a selection of gameplay modes we can boot into, including both the Japanese and English SD and DX versions of the original game. The difference in the two apparently being that the SD is the bare bones OG version, whilst the DX version is apparently the deluxe version, having support for a H shifter and clutch, whatever that means, and it also apparently has a rewind function, though I couldn't for the life of me work out how to activate this. High Score and Caravan modes on the other hand both feature online leaderboards for you to compete in, with the first recording your fastest lap times, whilst the second gives you 5 minutes to drive as far as possible. And Time Attack mode once again has an online leaderboard as you try to beat the game in the fastest time possible. Now it probably goes without saying, but Ridge Racer is an arcade racing game through and through, and I mean that quite literally, as this version faithfully replicates the features of the original arcade cabinet, including the requirement to insert credits and a very finicky menu system where your thumbstick is used to select the menu options, but you have to actually hold it at precise angles in order to highlight the option that you want. There are no car selections in the game, and it has both manual and automatic transmission, though being the shitebox that I am, I of course opted for automatic. When it comes to the levels, there are 4 of them, or at least in theory, as these are also the difficulty, those being Novice, Intermediate, Advanced and TT. But in actuality, there is only a single track in the game with 2 different versions, one being a shorter version for the lower difficulties, and the second a larger, longer version for the harder difficulties, so really not much here in terms of variety or customization. Getting into the gameplay though, as per the arcade release, controls and gameplay mechanics are incredibly simple. You accelerate and brake with the triggers, you can steer with either the thumbstick or the D-pad, and whilst heading into a turn, either tapping the brake or releasing the accelerator for a second will put you into a slide, and mastering this slide manoeuvre is absolutely essential for taking those tight corners and ensuring you don't just end up bouncing off the walls every 2 minutes like I do. If you do hit a wall or another car, then you'll be knocked back and your acceleration will drop, and this is bad news, because just like the original arcade version, you have a tight ass timer at the top of the screen ticking down, and this isn't very forgiving at all. So a few too many bumps and you won't make it to the next checkpoint in time, and the game will just end. Now, I quite enjoyed my time with this one. It was an absolute blast from the past, and although it's showing its age in terms of its aesthetics and gameplay, it still remains a solid runner, and drifting into perfect turns never fails to feel satisfying. I do, however, have a couple of minor complaints. The first being is that menu system is a pain in the arse to navigate, and I initially thought there was actually something wrong with my Joy-Cons. The second is the controls, because unlike using a steering wheel, turning using the thumbsticks and D-pads is incredibly sensitive, and it really takes a bit of getting used to avoid oversteering and careering off course. Finally, I did experience some performance issues whilst playing docked, and I was playing on the Nintendo Switch 2. And I don't know if this was just down to my capture card playing up and the speed of the game, but I kept experiencing frequent stutters with both the visuals and audio. In handheld mode it ran just fine, but if you've played the game, please let me know down in the comments below if you experienced the same issues. Overall though, it's a decent port of an arcade classic, and while its lack of variety means you're unlikely to come back forevermore, those high score leaderboards add at least a little bit of replayability to it. If you're a fan of classic Ridge Racer though, you'll no doubt be happy to dive back into it, but for those looking for more substance, you'd probably be better off sticking with a more modern racer. That though is about it for this one. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on this port, let me know if you're going to be picking it up, and let me know what your favourite arcade racers are down in the comments section below. For now though, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and game on.